Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The Bold and the Beautiful Friday, September 27 recap. Taylor collapses, Steffy kicks Hope out. The Bold and the Beautiful B&B. Spoilers recap for Friday, September 27, reveals that Icelandic musician Jökull Juliusson, aka JJ, collaborated with Brooke's bedroom line on a new video. There was a lot of buzz about JJ before his arrival, and Steffy Forrester, Jacqueline Messinswood, warned Hope Logan, Annika Noel, to respect her marriage since John Finn Finnegan, Tanner Novlin, was going to attend. Finn was a big fan of JJ and the band that he led called Kilio, so Hope talked to him about that once he arrived ahead of the performance. Steffy was busy preparing for JJ's arrival elsewhere by then, though she took a minute to warn Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, away from the salon. Since the focus would be on Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, with Ridge Forrester, Thorsten Kaye, supporting her, Steffy didn't think Taylor wanted to see any of that. Steffy eventually gave JJ a warm welcome and helped him make some introductions. Bridget Forrester, Ashley Jones, also showed up to support this collaboration and considered JJ a friend since they'd hit it off when she was in Iceland for a panel. While Finn met JJ and gushed over his music, Steffy caught Hope looking at her husband and wasn't happy about it. Since Steffy assumed Hope was fantasizing about kissing Finn again, she told Hope to leave the salon altogether. After Hope took off, Finn questioned Steffy and realized she'd forced Hope out. Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, wound up following Hope to the design office, where he quizzed her about her run-in with Steffy and offered a wild idea to help Hope for the future rebound. After Carter suggested Hope could capitalize on the success of Brooke's bedroom, she discovered that he wanted her to model lingerie in front of the camera. Hope teased Carter about how he'd been thinking about her modeling lingerie, so he smiled and said guilty as charged. Carter wondered if that was too much, but Hope seemed intrigued as they shared a flirty moment. Once JJ performed Way Down We Go, everyone applauded and celebrated the successful collaboration. JJ had a concert that he had to get to, so Bridget walked him out. Next on Friday's B&B episode, Finn expressed concern over Steffy's tension with Hope earlier. Steffy didn't like the way Hope looked at Finn, but he assured Steffy that it didn't matter since he only had eyes for his wife. After Taylor watched the livestream in the CEO office, she headed to the salon and peeked around at curtain at Brooke and Ridge. It seemed like it physically pained Taylor to witness Ridge and Brooke's flirting along with their makeout session. Taylor clutched her chest as B&B fans heard her heart beating. Once Brooke left, Taylor struggled to breathe and ripped the curtain down as she fell to the floor. After Ridge saw that Taylor had collapsed, he ran over to ask if she could hear him and if she was okay. Taylor was unconscious following her medical crisis, so Ridge was definitely concerned. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say Ridge will get updates on Taylor's difficult news in the coming episodes, so we'll bring you more predictions on what he'll do next. On the September 27 episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, emotions ran high as the tangled web of relationships unraveled in dramatic fashion. The day began with a sense of unease that hung over the Forrester estate like a storm cloud, one that would soon explode into chaos. Taylor's breaking point. Dr. Taylor Hayes, a woman who spent much of her life navigating the emotional minefields of the Forrester clan, finally reached her breaking point. For weeks, Taylor had been wrestling with guilt, self-doubt, and the unshakable fear that her family was slipping away from her. The recent revelations about Hope Logan and her relationship with Thomas had only worsened the strain on her mental and emotional well-being. In the opening scenes, Taylor appeared at the Cliff house, visibly tense. Steffy, who had been keeping a close eye on her mother, immediately sensed something was off. "Mom, you look pale." "You've been pushing yourself too hard," Steffy said, her concern palpable. Taylor brushed it off, as she often does. I'm fine, sweetheart. Just tired. But Steffi wasn't convinced. Things escalated quickly when Hope arrived unexpectedly, her mere presence intensifying the tension in the room. Taylor's composure faltered. Seeing Hope triggered something deep within her, the memories of all the pain her family had endured at the hands of the Logans flashing before her eyes. You shouldn't be here, Hope, Taylor said, her voice trembling. But Hope, ever calm and steady, tried to reason with her. Taylor, I just came to talk to Steffi. We need to sort things out about the children. I don't want any more tension between us, Hope pleaded, but her words fell on deaf ears. Taylor's face twisted with frustration. The years of built-up resentment, pain, and unresolved trauma were all coming to the surface. Her breaths became shallow, and she clutched her chest as her vision blurred. Steffi noticed it before anyone else. Mom, are you okay? Panic seized her as Taylor's knees buckled, and she collapsed onto the floor, unconscious. The fallout? The sight of Taylor lying motionless sent shockwaves through the room. Steffi dropped to her knees beside her mother, shouting for someone to call an ambulance. But it was Hope who fumbled for her phone, dialing 911 as her face blanched with shock. Yes, we need an ambulance right away, Hope said, her voice shaky. It's Taylor Hayes. She collapsed. Steffi glared at Hope, her voice laced with venom. You've done enough, Hope. This is all because of you. You and Thomas, you broke her. Hope, stunned by the accusation, tried to defend herself. Steffi, I didn't come here to fight. I didn't want this to happen. But Steffi wasn't hearing any of it. No, you didn't want it, but you made it happen. You and your lies, your manipulation, my mom can't take any more of it. The tension was unbearable. The paramedics arrived quickly, stabilizing Taylor and rushing her to the hospital. Steffi stayed behind, pacing the room as the reality of what had just happened settled in. Her mother's collapse was more than just a medical emergency. It was a symptom of the toxic environment that had been brewing between the Logans and the Forresters for far too long. Steffi's anger unleashed. As soon as the paramedics were gone, Steffi turned to Hope with a cold, calculating look. You need to leave, she said, her voice barely above a whisper, but the force behind it was unmistakable. Steffi, I didn't. Now, Steffi snapped, cutting her off. Get out of my house, Hope. Hope stood frozen, the weight of Steffi's anger pressing down on her. She had never seen Steffi like this, so raw, so furious, so ready to sever the fragile connection they once shared as co-parents. But the children. I don't care about the children right now, Steffi shot back. This isn't about them. This is about you and the damage you've done. You are not welcome here, Hope. Not anymore. Hope's face fell, her eyes filling with tears. Steffi, please. Don't. Steffi held up her hand, silencing her. You've done enough, Hope. My mom almost died because of all the stress, the lies, the betrayals. You and Thomas, you've been playing with everyone's emotions, and now look what's happened. I can't do this anymore. You're toxic to this family. Steffi's words hit Hope like a freight train. She opened her mouth to respond, but the look in Steffi's eyes told her it was pointless. There was no mending this, not now, maybe not ever. Steffi's voice was steady but icy as she added, I don't want you near my family again, and that includes Thomas. Hope's lips trembled. She had come with the intention of making things right, but instead, everything had crumbled. I didn't mean for this to happen, she whispered, her voice breaking. Steffi didn't respond. She turned her back on Hope and walked to the window, staring out at the crashing waves below, her arms folded tightly across her chest. Hope stood in the middle of the room, her heart aching, knowing she had lost something vital in that moment. Not just Steffi's friendship, but perhaps her place in the Forrester family for good. With no other option, Hope quietly left the house, the weight of her guilt heavy on her shoulders. Aftermath. Once alone, Steffi finally allowed herself to breathe. The tears she had held back in front of Hope now spilled down her face as the gravity of her mother's collapse fully hit her. This wasn't just about Hope or Thomas. It was about the never-ending battle between the Forresters and the Logans, a battle that had taken a toll on her entire family. Steffi sank into the couch, her head in her hands, as the silence of the empty house enveloped her. She knew she would have to face her mother's condition, her complicated feelings for her brother, and the fallout from her confrontation with Hope. But for now, all she could do was sit in the quiet and process the chaos that had just unfolded. In the distance, the sound of the ocean waves crashing against the rocks echoed through the house, a reminder of the storm that had just swept through their lives, a storm that was far from over.